For today's cup of coffee, we've got sort of kind of freeform random, but with a theme, because I switched themes at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And our picture today is from our only pumpkin tragedy of the season.
It's the only one so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And what happened with this little guy? And they are orange orbs of happiness for me.
And
they are
one.
Magical.
Not that one, apparently.
No, what happened to him was that he got rain. And now anytime you got pumpkins sitting outside, if they get rained on and they're left sitting in water, they will get nasty fast.
Yeah.
And that was what happened to this little guy.
Gross.
We didn't realize it, that he had, as far as what had been sitting in water. And so then it was a matter of him getting moldy and nasty, and he was flinged early on.
Yeah.
We hadn't had him for that long. And because that it is still, Halloween may be over, but never far from us. Ever.
It's only 300 and some days away.
360 some days left.
360 some days.
But it's like,
that's a long time.
Pumpkin doesn't, people have a tendency to discount it, and they shouldn't. Not only are they gorgeous, I mean, I truly love pumpkins. I love them. But they're good for you. They're good for your soul.
What you made was actually delicious. You made a thing with them. You made a thing with one of the pumpkins.
Because there's a lot of different strains of pumpkin out there.
Yeah.
As Kid and I were discovering as we were carving the jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, we found that out.
And you got like
a pumpkin
spaghetti.
Ain't just a pumpkin.
No, you've got the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and so those are not going to they're not going to be a meaty pumpkin because they're not necessarily meant to be eaten. And that one, I swear, it was mixed with some kind of loofah sponge. It looked exactly like that. The ones you carved was almost like spaghetti squash.
Yep. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I know I've had some break like that before, but I've always have been like spaghetti squash.
Mm-hmm.
You've been crossbred with spaghetti.
They have. A lot of them have. And now you can get some of the heirloom pumpkins, but they're not as pretty.
That sounds like something that's going to be a loofah.
They're not as pretty. They're, as far as they have a tendency to be not as orange. They've got, it's almost like a puce color.
Okay.
They're not like orange,
mm-hmm.
and they have a tendency to be, I'm trying to think of the type of squash that because it's all in the squash family. They're sort of like the turban squash. They're flatter.
Pancake squash.
It's like somebody just squashed it in the middle.
They just
stick it down a little bit.
They just sat on it.
Yeah, sort of. And then you do have some of the pie pumpkins. And those are the ones that are, the meat is thicker on them.
The meaty pumpkins.
Yeah. Because they're designed for eating. And that was one of the things that we had some that were called mini pumpkins. Now, the little guy that were pictured, I don't even know what category he was in. It didn't say. But Kid had gone out for a while today, and I thought, pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
And so the ones that had the longer stems, those were the mini pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a matter of, it's very simple to fix pumpkin. It can be very simple to fix pumpkin.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to come out of a can, folks.
No.
And it's a matter of just washing them because mud can be there. And slicing them in half, scooping the seeds out.
Doing the whole shebang.
I turned them upside down on a baking sheet, 350 for maybe 30 minutes, whatever like that, till it was soft. And then you just peel the rind off of it. I mean, it comes right off.
Mm-hmm.
And then take that and potato masher and butter. And I did put some pumpkin pie spice in it because you don't have to, but it's some heavy cream. I had some raisins and dried cranberries and pumpkin seeds and
You put
sunflower
pumpkin seeds in the
I
pumpkin?
did. And you mix all
right.
that together. It's tasty. And some cane sugar, because I have found out that cane sugar does not affect the glucose level the way that the high fructose corn
No,
syrup
because
is killing people.
Yeah, because cane sugar is actual sugar.
Yeah.
Stop eating the other shit.
I mean, you don't have to
You hear
sit
me, people
there.
out there?
You don't have
Corn
to sit
syrup
there.
ain't sugar.
Right, no, it's not. You don't have to sit and eat a whole damn bowl of whatever, you know? And it's filling. You could eat it warm. You can eat it cool. It's just very simple. And
They put something in like factory made candy that's like addictive. The
Well-
high fructose corn syrup, I know it makes you want to continue eating it
it does. Well,
because
what
it
it
bypasses that like.
is, gag reflex. Because it used to be, that was always the funny thing at Halloween for kids to gorge themselves on candy and then they would barf.
Yeah.
And they learned, don't gorge yourself on these things. Everything in moderation. But the high fructose corn syrup, it doesn't do that. You can keep eating and eating and eating, or drinking and drinking and drinking.
That's why people used to get stomach aches.
That was the body's response of going, I've had enough.
Yep.
Do something else. Go eat some broccoli. And we did that because I
Go
made
eat some
broccoli
broccoli,
cheese soup for.
please.
Yeah, I made some broccoli and cheese soup for supper also.
It was so good.
It's
It
autumn
was delicious.
foods.
Yes.
But pumpkins are actually very nutritious. And people are going, what the hell is she talking about? Pumpkins are magical. Stay with me. They're supernatural. And I will include in the references this research paper that I found. And it's amazing. If you really want to take a deep dive down the pumpkin vine, this is the nutritional value, phytochemical potential, and therapeutic benefits of pumpkin. 11 authors contributed to this. And it's actually it's not a horrible to read research paper. Not all of them have to be horrible. And, just amazing things.
I don't know that I know how to write a research paper anymore.
Such as they can be used for wound healing. They're antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidative, anti-ulcerative properties. Yeah, treatment for benign prostatic hyperplasia. Let's see, what else have they got? They got all kinds of goodness in them because they're magical.
Yeah.
They
Orange
are
globes.
just magical.
Orange orbs of happiness.
They are. So I'll put that in there. And as far as some of the recipes, I was talking to Kid, because you don't have to, it doesn't always have to be sweet. A lot of times when you say as far as pumpkin, people automatically pumpkin pie. That is probably my least favorite pumpkin item. It really is.
Yeah, I ain't a fan of it either. It ain't that great. It's
Yeah.
overrated.
Yeah. I would rather have sweet potato pie any day. Give me some sweet potato pie. Now that stuff is, that's one of those you knock somebody over to get to a piece of sweet potato pie.
You should have tried that Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pie.
It seems like we tried that and it was overly sweet. Overly.
I don't remember.
I mean, it
eating
was just like, sit there and just give somebody a sugar cube. You got to have a balance on that. If all you taste is sugar, then it's pointless. It's pointless.
It depends on what demographic you're going after.
Well, I guess that's true too. But I went to Southern Living. There was 150,000 or more search results for pumpkin recipes. You can
There's a
do
lot.
it as far as savory.
You can do savory, you can do sweet, you can't do sour with it.
No, I don't think the sour would work very
Sour
well with it.
pumpkin. That sounds
Well,
nasty.
you know what? That's something that to sit there and put a little bit of lime and see. I don't know.
See what
I
it
haven't
would be
tried
like,
it.
sour pumpkin.
It might work. You could slice it and bake it, put a little bit of lime on it.
We'll do that one day, seriously.
We will. We will do that. But you could do salt and pepper and butter. I mean, honestly, just that simple.
Yeah. Doesn't take much for stuff like that. I'm surprised that it can be that simple, honestly.
Real food
like-
can be that simple. Yeah. Yeah.
And how about we go back to real food rather than this processed shit that they're selling in the stores?
Well, that's what we have been doing for quite a while. And that was just basically out of
Necessity.
necessity and indeed. You know what review brought? I listened to him today, and he was talking about fast food because if you're not, what is it, report of the week?
Is he
it
saying that
actual?
it's tasting weird now?
He was saying that as
And it
far
makes him feel
yes, that it is not only that the fast food things. This kid's been doing this for years, as far as his little reviews, and he's a good kid. I like Review Bra, and but just that everything has changed as far as fast food. The portions are smaller. The service is horrible. The prices are ridiculous. And then by the time all that, a lot of times you go home with something that is inedible. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to know other people's thoughts about this. And it wasn't just from America. There were people from other nations that their fast food chains are sort of doing the same thing.
What is up with that?
Well-
What is going on?
I don't know. I hope that the bugs is not included in some of that shit.
I bet you it is. I bet you anything they've already started incorporating the bugs.
You never know.
We
You never
haven't
know.
put that in our food, though.
I don't know. There
That
wasn't
would-
no bugs on the pumpkin, I will tell you that. But no, there were and yes, I definitely did chime
Homemade food
in.
doesn't have bugs.
Huh?
Homemade food doesn't have
No,
bugs.
it doesn't. Because I make sure what we're eating as best I can. You know, it's not like we make our own cheese or anything like that.
Right.
So, we do the best we can with what we've got, and all these labels that's got contains bioengineered food products. What? What the hell does that mean?
That means put it back on the shelf.
A lot of times it does. A lot of times it certainly does. But there were thousands of people. He was one of those, is it just me? Or he wondered if it was just him. And it's like, no, honey,
It ain't
it's
just
not
you.
just you. But you've got these companies that they want to make the same amount of profit. And actually, McDonald's, I had heard that they had just a really good quarter because they had raised the prices. Now, I tell you something.
Well, no shit. That because everybody doesn't expect it for a while, and then they start to catch on.
Yeah.
And so they slowly dip down.
Well, it's one of those that the price of everything has increased so much. So these people are, cutting corners. This shrinkflation bullshit. And if people still buy it, okay. A fool and his money are soon parted.
Yep.
And then you've got people that are wanting to have a burger job. There's nothing wrong or shameful with having a burger job. But they're wanting to make the same money as somebody who's got a doctorate in something. That depends on what that doctorate is in. If you're working at McDonald's and expecting the same rate of pay as a surgeon, you need a reality check.
For real on that one.
You want better wages, develop better skills.
Yep.
Go out and learn how to do carpentry or plumbing or something like that.
Yep.
So, when you've got increased wages, then that's passed on to the consumer, and that's where they're having these $18 Big Mac meals. Oh, forget that.
$18.
People here in the mountains, we can't pay that. No, and we won't pay that. And anybody that would pay that, I'd look at them and go, honey, you ignorant. You eat up with the dumbass.
Yep.
That's full-blown mountain speak right there. Because that's one of those, it triggers you.
I still like their cheeseburgers, though. How much is just a regular cheeseburger
I don't know.
now?
I haven't even looked at
$5?
the prices. I don't know.
They used to be $1.
I know that
Just a cheeseburger.
I know
was
at
$1.
Taco Bell the other day, when we got 2 medium-sized drinks and a small drink, and it was $9.
Yeah.
And those were just regular drinks.
It's fucking crazy.
And it's like, the hell with this. Next time we'll stop, get a 2-liter, and go through, get a cup of ice, and just do it ourselves. And that's what people are going to have to start doing.
Fuck that. Get us a filtration system. We'll go to the swamp out back and start filtering that out.
It's not got that bad yet. Oh, we got to see about getting the wheel in the backyard working again. But this is why learning the value of eating things like pumpkins. And I was telling kid, and there was, if I can remember, I will put the link to, I think it's called Townsends. The gentleman who does he works at some kind of a historical recreation or something from like the 1800s. And that he also cooks, like they did from the cookbooks during that period of time. Mm-hmm. And it's a very enjoyable channel if you like history. And that he had made a pumpkin pie where he sliced the pumpkin, and then he had slices of apple in it, and he made his crust, and he baked it and stuff.
Okay.
And so it was not overly sweet.
Ooh. And so that's the recipe you followed?
No. Are you kidding? I made my own up. I always make my own shit up. If you know the basics of cooking, you can just run with it. I just do my own thing. But he
do, and it always works out. In the end,
well,
usually works 9 times out of 10, it works out.
I've been doing this stuff since I was 3 years old. I've learned a few tricks of the trade over the years. Every now and then, you're sitting there going, damn, I don't know what the hell happened that day. I spazzed. I really did.
Something happened.
Like,
Something happened and my brain glitched out. The fuck?
Absolutely. The pumpkins, they are magical. And they're good for you.
Yes, they are.
If you have already carved your jack-o'-lantern, don't eat that.
Yeah, don't eat that after days.
Our people.
After days
of
sitting out there, don't fucking eat it.
Mold grows on that stuff. It does. Mold grows quickly. Mm-hmm. And it was just there before Halloween that I saw a news article that they were warning people, do not eat the pumpkins after they have been carved for days because the people was getting food poisoning. And I tell you something, that's just natural selection.
Out for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That hurts. That makes my hair hurt.
No, everything. There's a lot of things that makes my hair hurt.
That was common sense at one point. Don't eat the pumpkins that has been sitting out for days.
Don't leave anything that's been sitting out for days like that, because especially outside where you've got warm. If it were cold,
now pizza's different.
Might have pizza. God, you can leave it.
It's
There's so many preservatives. Yeah. But as far as leaving something outside and you have insects and you do have mold and mildew and different things like that, and I'm telling you, natural selection, it's coming back. Yeah. And
let
pumpkin.
Let it be.
Oh. But the pumpkins, they're magical. And we do have Thanksgiving coming up. For those of y'all who are in different countries and stuff, and that is something, that is a day of thanks, and that's a day that they're trying to erase. They're trying to erase it.
Yeah.
And we refuse. So
what do you give me that look for?
pumpkins, I'm just, you're over there with a box on your head, so I'm just sitting there going, what the hell is he doing?
I don't know what
But
this
that is
box
something-
is, but I'm leaning my head against
Well,
it.
that's okay. You can sleep on the box
And there's
there.
a sticker on it. It's
Okay.
like, the fuck is that?
That means he didn't take the Hysteria, is what that means.
That means that's at the end of the day.
So, go and find you some nice pumpkins. You probably can't even find pumpkins in the store right now.
Mm-hmm.
They actually store very well.
They do.
If you had like a root cellar or something like that.
If only the stores were still selling pumpkins at this moment.
They were gone.
They were.
Before
What happened
Halloween.
to
It
them?
was crazy.
Yeah, it's like, I know y'all didn't snatch up all the pumpkins, so where'd they go?
I don't know. But that's just like, people used to store these things. And because they keep, the squash families, those things keep. Root crops keep. As long as you keep them cool and things like that. That was the whole basis of a root cellar. That was where you're supposed to keep your onions also. If you got your onions up where they get hot, they going to sprout.
Don't leave potatoes for too long.
They'll kill you.
They'll not only kill you, they'll spawn more.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Don't eat the eyes as far as if they've sprouted. Don't eat the green parts of a potato. That's arsenic, people.
That is arsenic. Don't eat a raw
They're
potato.
nightshades. Well, the
Deadly
raw
nightshade.
potato, I think that you could eat that. I don't know that it would hurt you, but as far as the green part, that is arsenic. Because they're nightshades.
Yeah, it doesn't digest well.
No.
And it makes you sick.
Well, it can make you sick, but it ain't going to kill you.
Wasn't that arsenic? They used that in like green dyes and shit for a long time.
Victorian times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Entire green rooms, arsenic.
Yeah.
You just walk in poisoned
Well, it was why
immediately.
the Mad Hatters and stuff like that. And a lot of these people that had to deal with stuff that they didn't know was toxic back then.
They painted uranium and still licked their brushes.
Oh, that was World War I or II.
They licked uranium and thought it would be fine.
We've got, how many things are we doing now that someday people are going to look it back and go, hey, that was just stupid.
I would like to know how the fuck did they get that uranium to make paint out of?
I don't know.
How did they even make paint out of uranium?
I don't know.
But
Right. One
orange
can-
globes of happiness are joyful.
Yeah, one can question why they're putting aluminum in toothpaste also. Ooh.
What? I missed
The
that.
fluoride.
Oh.
It's an aluminum byproduct.
Yeah, we take that away. Take that.
Baking soda. You can brush your teeth with
Aluminum
baking
poisoning.
soda. You can brush your teeth with salt.
Yeah,
That's Scouting 101.
I'm sure that's good for your teeth.
Actually, it's good for your teeth as far as salt killing bacteria and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Is it good for your enamel?
It ain't gonna hurt nothing. I mean, it's like it melts when you brushing. You still use a wet toothbrush, different things like that. Hot salt water kills lots of germs in your mouth. That's why you gargle with it when you got a sore throat.
That's true.
Yeah, simple. We're going back to simple and the orange orbs of happiness.
Simple. Also,
They're good for you.
unrelated note, if you have a modern Roku and you still have a tube TV, you can get a converter, hook it up, and it will work perfectly on
He's
it
happy.
almost.
He feels like he's in a time warp.
No, it makes me happy.
Well, that's
The
all right.
tube TVs make me happy.
Okay, and that's your final thought.
Yes.
If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you have favorite pumpkin recipes, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, or put those in the comment section so everybody can read them and enjoy them.
Yeah. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good.
Know that you're very loved.
Yes.
And if the only remnant that you can find of the orange orbs of happiness is in a can,
Oh, that's sad.
Lift it up and just remember that wonderful glowing face that could have been, and wait for next year.
It's its memorial.
It's okay. It's okay, because those orange orbs will never fade. They just go dormant for a little while.
Oh my God.
Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. The cans are the pumpkin's urns.
Oh God, he's brilliant.